Hello there, this is Farmer Joe with the American YouTube channel. What I have here is a fig bush. I've planted 4 other fig bushes. It's a decent sized bush or tree. It has already produced figs before. I had it in that pot at one time and it sat for a year, and I was not going to wait until spring to put it in the ground. I wanted to treat it right, and the weather is a little bit warmer right now, and it's been in the ground for about 3 weeks now. Uh, and uh, just a few facts about figs. Figs, the fruit of the fig tree, is actually a flower or a group of flowers, and the fig or the outside of it, what we think is the fruit or call the fruit, is actually the covering of a bunch of little flowers. And how figs are pollinated, it might gross you out, but there's an insect called a fig wasp. It goes inside of the fig or the flower, which is the what we call a fig, and it pollinates it. And often it dies inside there and disintegrates, and you never know the difference when you're eating it. So hopefully that doesn't turn you off from eating figs, because there are many benefits to figs. It's been known to help with intestinal issues, has many antioxidants, and just tastes super sweet. Throughout history, in ancient Greece, figs were, and in other cultures, were a symbol of fertility and were thought to bring fertility. The Greeks, I'm not sure if it was the Spartans or the Athenians. It sounds more like the Athenians, something they would do. They would beat men and women with fig leaves to increase the chances of fertility. So that was the thought of that, and that makes sense. They probably were on to something, even though that there's probably no correlation to making someone fertile. But being that the fig itself is a series of flowers and blooms and pollination, so um, and the fig tree has been referenced many times in the Bible and in the Quran. You can look it up. I think there was at one point, it's often said that Jesus cursed a fig tree, but if you read deeper, he was not cursing a fig tree or a fig bush. That wouldn't make sense, because as I believe, animals and plants and things, they're the purest of the pure, and children are pure. And if you interpret it, I'm sure there'll be some scholars here that correct me, but from what I gather from it, Jesus was using that as an example of the farmers or the people who were expecting the fig tree to bear fruit, and it was something to the effect of not really cursing the people, but letting them know that you have to put in the work, and you can't expect without working and following what you need to follow to for the fig bush to bear fruit if you don't put the work in. And I think that was something to do with obedience to God, the Creator, and the Quran. I don't know the exact reference. Maybe some of my Muslim friends can tell me. So that's a little bit of information about fig trees. What we're doing here is uh, planting these and making different little orchards, and I'll give you the full scope of it as we continue. Um, and my take on the whole fig bush is I love my wife, Ms. Bunny's fig preserves. Almost world famous Ms. Bunny's fig preserves. That's what it comes down to me. And in the southeast, we have a climate that is compatible with fig trees. Um, we um, usually grow in this area. The majority of the type of fig bush we have is called brown turkey. Of course, there's different names of the different variations of it, but it's the brown turkey fig bush. So there's your fig information, fig history, and everything that you can possibly think of, or I can think of off the top of my head, as I just did an impromptu video of fig bush. These are in the ground. When you're planting them, just like any other tree or bush, make the diameter of the area 3 times bigger than the root ball, if it has a root ball, or that pot right there, to give the roots a good chance to spread out and really grow without meeting a lot of resistance. And uh, water it, and you know, like these bushes, I have bought some in the past, but this one in particular was actually dug up from an old, when I was tearing down an old shed slash barn at an old home site. This guy wanted it gone, and he was going to just grade out the area after he tore it down. So I got tin and old wood that didn't even look like it went, it was obvious, it definitely wasn't bought at Home Depot or Lowe's. It was probably milled somewhere at some old mill. And so I was salvaging some wood, some old barn tin, and as you often find on these home sites, they'd have a fig bush growing up right next to a shed or building. And mine are not. And I planted them going east to west, as they tend to lean uh, towards the east of this property. So when the sun is rising, they'll get that good morning sun. And so that'll be the majority of probably where the fruit will be as I'm facing it, and then I'm picking. And that way I don't have to get all up in the middle of the bush of the tree. All right, well, there's your fig trivia, fig knowledge, and we're figged out here at the American YouTube channel. This is Farmer Joe. Fig out.